The November stats have just dropped, and honestly, they're a little alarming. If you've been watching the Kamloops real estate market lately, you know that things have been all over the map. One month it's been steady, the next month it's been surging, and now November has taken another sharp turn that nobody saw coming. In today's video, we're going to break down exactly what has changed, how this market compares to the past couple months, and how it stacks up over the past couple years. And because the trends are getting harder and harder to predict, the swings are getting even bigger. So if you are thinking about buying or selling anytime soon here, this is not the market to take a guess in. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, and let's get into the numbers and what they actually mean for you before you make your next move. All right, let's take a look at the stats. So the biggest number that really stood out to me in this situation here was that sales for single-family homes was at 77 total units that were sold last November here. That was down 17% from the same time last year. That is the biggest jump that we saw in all the numbers, and that's the biggest inconsistency that we've seen over the past couple months. The interesting part with that is that the benchmark price was actually up 1.8%. But also another super interesting fact here is that the inventory is down to 483 listings. So active listings that are actively on the market. We're going to take a look in a little bit here to compare that compared to the past couple months here and compare that to the past couple years. That's actually an interesting number to take a peek at as we kind of move forward. So definitely remember the 483 active listings. Townhouses were down 8.3% to 22 total sales. The benchmark price did drop 4.7% to just a little over 500,000 at 504,000. Inventory for townhouses is up to 141 total townhouses, up 14%. So now this is the biggest one. You had condos and apartment sales that were actually up 43% compared to the same time last year. So 23 total sales. Now you got to keep in mind this 43%. That is probably an increase of, I would think, 8 or 9 sales in comparison to the previous month, the same time last year. Benchmark price remained quite stable. Total amount of inventory is up 15% for the condos and apartment sector as well. So let's compare that to how things looked in October. We saw sales for single-family homes. They were down 5.8% in October to 113 sales. Inventory, again, so inventory was at 567 active listings in October. Now you compare that to November. So we're actually down 100 active single-family homes actively on the market right now. So this is a great opportunity if you're actually thinking about selling your house, single-family house. Taking advantage of this. Now we have 100 active listings, 100 less active listings actively on the market from October to November. Now this is quite common seasonally as we head into the winter time. A lot of people are pulling their home off the market as we head into the holidays. We actually just recently had this conversation with a couple of our clients this past week, and they decided to pull their home off the market. They're very specific homes that definitely didn't show as well, or definitely stood out a little bit more in the holidays there. So we decided to pull it off, but we will be relisting those homes as it kind of starts off in the new year. So the biggest thing is timing this to make sure that you are taking advantage of a low inventory in November as you start the year, because typically a lot of people will pull their listing off in October, November, and start to look to relist in March, April, and May. So you want to make sure you beat that rush of listings kind of heading up into the springtime there, and make sure you list at a very low inventory level for your product type. Now you compare this compared to September here. Again, we are 652 active listings in September, so 652 down to 467. That's quite the drop in just a couple months. So the biggest thing here is when we're looking at the sales in September, single family homes were up 27% compared to the same time last year. So we started to see the surge in September. We saw a little bit of a drop in October, and now we saw the drop back down in November. So for single family homes, it's been quite turbulent over the past couple months. I do anticipate that this is just the calm before the storm as we kind of head into the new year here. Interest rates tend to be stabilizing quite a bit more over the past couple months, and I do anticipate that they will stabilize as we head into the new year. So we're going to have consumer confidence back. We're going to hopefully have a little less tariff talk in the new year. Consumer confidence back, stability in interest rates, which should have a very strong spring ahead of us. Now you compare the townhouses. Again, townhouses in September were up 29% compared to the same time last year, compared to being down 4.7% 8.3% in sales in November there. So I think it's just been a little bit quieter as we head into November compared to the previous year. But we did see, so where we see September surge this year, November definitely dropped in comparison to the same time last year. Now, how does this November here look compared to the November of last year? So we had a total of 96 active listings, 96 sales in November of last year compared to the 77 sales that we had this past year. The 96 sales last year was up 1.3%. The benchmark price was 655, and the benchmark price is 659 this year. So quite stable when you're looking at the benchmark price from year over year. And then also you're taking a look at the inventory levels. 482 active inventory for single family homes, 483 this year. So quite seasonal when we're talking the amount of inventory and the benchmark price, but we are seeing that the sales in November did drop for single family homes. Now, taking a look at sales in townhouses, again, sales were up the previous year, and then this year 22 sales compared to 24 sales the November before. Inventory was at 123. Active sales down from 100, or we're actually up this year from 141. So as we head into the new year, I do anticipate quite a bit more activity. Every year is quite a bit different. A lot can play a factor into what the market looks like as we kind of head into the winter. A lot of times it depends on what the weather is like outside, if it's warmer, if it's colder, if the snow came out, and different economic conditions that are surrounding the market. So overall, what does this mean for you as you move into the tail end of the year here and the start of 2026? The biggest thing to really keep an eye on is inventory if you are thinking of selling. Make sure that your inventory, not specific to just Kamloops, but inventory in your specific neighborhood and your exact kind of price point. So if you have a newer home in Aberdeen, you're going to compare very well against other homes in Dufferin or Sahalee or Juniper. So take a look at the inventory levels for your product type and your neighborhood. So definitely make that plan as you head into the new year. Take a look at your inventory. If you happen to be in an inventory where they have extremely low levels or no inventory or very low levels, that might be the indication that you might want to list a little bit earlier in 2026. But if you have high inventory, that might be the time to maybe let's just wait until the springtime. Maybe let's just wait until the grass is greener, the flowers are blooming, and hopefully you see some adjustments in the inventory levels. Now, buyers on the flip side, definitely take a look and possibly take advantages of some potential opportunities in the market of higher inventory. So higher inventory, especially with the amount of sales that have with the lack of sales that we saw over the past couple months here, definitely take advantage of those high inventory or high inventory pockets, maybe specific to some price points, some product types and everything in the market. There are amazing opportunities as we head into the winter here. So a lot of people are being far more negotiable. Definitely there might be some options that you can take advantage and get some good homes at some good prices. So make sure if you are thinking about making a move and making a purchase over the next couple months, make sure you check out our previous video. We did discuss when is the best time to move and some opportunities that you might have in today's market. So again, if you have any questions with what is going on in today's market and how this might help you with your move in 2026, make sure you reach out to my team and I today. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye now.